Hello everyone, I'm Professor Guy Walker from Heriot-Watt University. I work within the School for Energy, Geoscience, Infrastructure and Society, and my role there is Leader of Pioneering Education. Now, like all of you, I'm currently in coronavirus lockdown. This is my home office. I hope you like it. As you can see, it is full up with retro hi-fi systems, which is a secret hobby I would have kept to myself were it not for video conferencing and a global pandemic. Nevertheless, here we are in truly unprecedented circumstances. And I wanted to give you some words of advice and reassurance about everyone's favourite topic, exams. Now, these can be nerve-wracking enough, let alone with a short notice change to a brand new take-home format. So I speak on behalf of all academic colleagues in that we strongly empathise with the anxiety this might be causing you. We are all part of the same Heriot-Watt academic community, and we are willing you all to do well. And indeed, that's the reason we reverted to a take-home format in the first place. It's so that we can get you to the end of this critical phase in your study, and despite everything, give you an opportunity to show us what you've learnt this semester and to move ahead with your lives. Now, this might surprise some of you, but we, your teaching team, used to be students. That's right, we were young ones. In fact, some of us haven't updated our dress sense since that time. We've been where you are now, and we know what it's like. But unlike you, since that time, we've also taught and examined many tens of thousands of exams. In fact, we've got really good at them. We can spot an A-grade student from 10 miles away, and we know exactly what we're doing. So, if I were to go back in time with an opportunity to advise my younger self about what to do in these upcoming exams, what would I say? Well, I think I'd say three things. The first thing I would say is listen foremost to your course leaders. They will be able to give you the specific advice needed for specific courses. So what follows is general advice. It's not designed to override anything your course leaders are telling you already. The second thing I would say is this. If I were about to take these exams, I would be thinking to myself, how can I use the exam as an opportunity to demonstrate what I've learned on this particular course? And listen to my words carefully, on this particular course, because exams are not a general knowledge quiz, but at the same time, it's a subtle balance. So obviously, being able to apply or use the knowledge you've just acquired on a course is great, and markers love to see interesting and insightful examples or case studies or linkages to other experience or the examples that you may have come across before, where these are appropriate. They're somewhat less enthusiastic about random general knowledge. So really, the acid test is whether what you're currently writing in your exam could have been written by someone who didn't actually have to study the course you've just finished. So have a think. The third thing I'll tell my younger self, and probably the bit of advice I would have found most confusing and difficult to take on board, is perhaps to take a bit of a step back, take a more of a meta view of the course. Pause the cramming for a moment and step back. It's not just facts and figures and memorizing things. In fact, university study is not a memory test and never was. Obviously, we need to memorize things to apply them, to manipulate them and synthesize them. So what I would say is put yourself in the shoes of the course leader. What was the course leader trying to teach? Go back to the first lecture and those first few slides. What are the learning outcomes? Not just the syllabus and the things you had to study, but the end goal of it all. And while you're pondering on the meaning of life and the course you've just studied, think about the person who gets a flying pass. What would they look like? And what can they actually do? So get an image of that A-grade student in your mind, then think how you can use the exam to show the marker that that A-grade student is you. And I'll go further, and I would say actually these take-home exams may provide you an even better opportunity to try and do that. People often say that there is a knack to being good at exams, that it's an art. And I can see why people say things like that. And it is an art, I suppose, but it's much more subtle. If you can become a master at this art, in other words, if you become good at getting to the heart of matters, demonstrating that you know your stuff, can make complexity simple and communicate with precision, then you'll get good grades. I know how important grades are to you, but in reality, they are a side effect. Your actual learning is the most important thing of all. A few years out from your degrees, it's not the grades that will matter, but what you can actually do. That's what employers value the most. So don't lose sight of that fact. It will help you prepare for your exam and for whatever comes in future. Good luck.